disruption to their mail service as the strike at Canada Post drags into its 6th day. Service Canada is holding off on mailing around some 85,000 passports. This just ahead of the busy holiday travel season. And Scott Peterson joins us now as he continues to follow, can we say, sort of I guess the bouncing ball on this. But I mean, there's a lot of nerves, at play here with in terms of how this is going to affect things. Anyone wanting to travel, you're sort of in limbo.
Yeah, and there's a lot of attention being paid to this. A lot of business groups not happy about this. A lot of thousands of companies across the country. But Service Canada sort of saw the writing on the wall, if you will. A week before the postal workers went on strike, they held back all the passports they were going to deliver and did not send them out. They did not want them sitting idle in Canada Post locations across the country. So they're within Service Canada. As you mentioned, there's 85,000 of them, and this, of course, being the beginning of the busy travel season as well. Now, they'll be sent immediately after the strike is resolved, but if people need to have these passports in order to travel sooner, there's ways to get around that. One, contact the Service Canada Passport Program. There's an 800 number there on the side of the screen, also on their website. Visit a Service Canada Centre, make arrangements with a representative there to visit one of the 60 locations across the country to physically pick up your passport, because this is the beginning of the busy travel season. So anybody that can't wait until after this strike is resolved, and who knows when that's going to be, can go to Service Canada and pick it up a lot sooner. And
be prepared. There could be long lineups once again, making sure that you're checking in on that.
Yes.
Hopefully we're not dealing with sort of, the extent of what we've seen in the past. Absolutely. I also know that you've been tracking, keeping a close eye on where things have been happening as we've been speaking to you every hour on this. Any movement that you've been able to gauge here?
Not so far, but both sides, both Canada Post and the CUPW, the Canadian Union of Postal Workers, don't want to play this in media. So they are behind closed doors. They have a federal mediator. They're not even in the same room. They have a federal mediator going back and forth, but just making sure that messages are being communicated and there is some progress. But we are monitoring this very carefully. The union wants a 24% increase on wages over the next 4 years. There's also issues around benefits, sick leave, job security. Canada Post is only willing to offer about half that, and this comes at a bad time for Canada Post. Since 2018, the last time they went on strike, they've lost $3 billion. They've lost $500,000 so far this year, so they're not really in a position to offer a lot. They're trying to restructure. So here's the Minister of Public Services, in his words, what's up against both sides here.
The organization, the executives need to be supportive of the evolution of Canada Post, not only for the customers, whose behavior is quickly changing, but also for the workers. We want those workers to have stable and good jobs for the future, but these jobs need to evolve.
And evolving as well are these talks going forward. You get a sense from the language from both CUPW and from Canada Post themselves that the language is modifying, that they're seeming to make peace. So they do both say that they're coming closer together, and that's probably welcome news to a lot of business groups, a lot of Canadians across the country too. We're
going to also be watching very closely to see, of course, the government watching this very, very closely. We'll see, Caucus Day, so a lot of conversations happening there. Yes. Conversations are going to be happening in the House on this as well, so we'll be watching it very closely on this. Thanks for all of that information there, Scott. Appreciate it.
Thank you,
it's been great.